What's up, everyone? Tom here from Metalloud, and welcome to another 1 year later review. This time we're taking a look at Every Time I Die's Low Teens. When I first listened to Low Teens, I actually was disappointed. It dropped at like 2 in the morning, and I was not really in the right state of mind. I'd actually just taken some sleeping pills, and I tried listening to it, and I came off of it as being kind of bored. And I wasn't sure what was going on because obviously Every Time I Die are one of my favorite bands of all time, and I've really yet to be disappointed by them. So I wasn't feeling it especially as much as I'd felt the singles that they had already released at that point. I was wondering what was kind of going on. So I slept on it, I listened to it the next day, and holy shit, that album is absolutely fantastic, and Low Teens has quickly become probably my favorite Every Time I Die album. I really think it's their best work to date. I think that they really put themselves out there with this album, and kind of everything came together and it just worked out so well. Right from the opening track on there, Fear and Trembling, which you just hear that kind of weird guitar going on and sounds like they're just in the studio doing things, and then just burst in there. That really kind of captured me right from that moment. The ending track on there as well, Map Change, I really think they kind of explored themselves. I think everybody was kind of did their own thing on there. I mean, the Daniel Davidson is probably one of my favorite drummers on this album, and I mean, kind of sucks that he's no longer in the band. That seems to kind of be his MO, but whatever. He really kind of brought something to the band and didn't just seem like he was filling in for anyone. He kind of became his own member and definitely kind of fit right with Every Time I Die and what they're going for this album. It's a little bit heavier than things that they've done previously. It's a little bit more, has some more on the sludgy side of things, with songs like 1977, and I think that they brought in some new elements that they hadn't had there before. From Parts Unknown, their previous album really was more of a faster paced, kind of felt like a more up-tempo, punk-driven album, which this feels more like a sludgier or grungier kind of album in general. Even the faster paced songs like Glitches, for instance, really still kind of feel like they're a bit on the oppressive side. There's not as many truly melodic tracks on here, but the ones that are there are excellent, or the moments that are there feel like Keith Buckley has come such a long way from their early days. C++ Love Will Get You Killed is just a fantastic song and demonstrative of his vocal range. Probably one of my favorite tracks on there as well. And I just really think that they really came together on this album, and it feels like this is an album that they wanted to really make and put out for the fans and to put out for themselves. And I think it shows on here, the passion, the drive, and the energy that they have. And I think that's why this album is still my favorite album from them, why I think it's held up over the year. And, like I said, if anything, it's an album that's really kind of grown on me. Songs that I wasn't particularly too fond of even in the beginning, I definitely have come around to enjoy a lot. They really did a good job on here with crafting something I think is going to stand up over time. I don't think there's a single really bad track on this album. I don't think there's even ones that really bore me. As I said, my kind of litmus test for whether a album stands up over time is how much am I listening to it after the year? How much of it do I still put on my mix when I drive? And there's a decent number of tracks on here, I would say. I mean, probably most of the album I'm still putting on here and rarely skipping over any of them when I listen to them. So I think that's a pretty good measure of how good this album actually is and what they managed to do. And it'll be interesting to hear where they kind of go from here, because I mean, they've been all over the place with their albums. I mean, you've gotten almost the Hot Damn was almost a straight up mathcore album. You've got The Big Dirty, which is probably my second favorite at this point. I kind of go back and forth now between Low Teens and The Big Dirty, which should be a big telling sign there for how good this album actually is, because of how much I like The Big Dirty. you know, that's more southern melodic influenced, definitely with the chaotic hardcore in there. But you know, they've gone all over the place with what they've done, so it'll be really interesting to hear, especially the fact that now they're going to have to get another new drummer to come in and kind of bring his own thing to the band while still simultaneously fitting into the sound that they've crafted. It's going to be really kind of wild to hear, and they've been on this 2-year cycle, so really we should be expecting to hear another album sometime next year. So I'm gonna definitely look forward to that. I would say after a year, Low Teens has more than stood the test of time. Thank you for watching the 1 year later review of Every Time I Die's Low Teens. Let me know what you thought down below. Do you still listen to this album? Do you still like this album? Make sure you leave a comment. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more.